the 2nd of November, a spreadsheet was leaked showing the balance sheet of Alameda. And one thing it showed was that it looked very bad. It looked actually horrible. They had 900 million in assets while having, let me zoom in a bit so you guys can read it as well.
$9 billion.
9 billion in liabilities.
Wow.
So you have 900 in assets and 9 billion in liabilities. This is a a guaranteed way that you'll never can pay anyone off if they start
Asking for their money
asking
back.
for their money back. And the amount of liabilities you can create them by lending money. So they were lending money, like the guy described earlier in the video. They were lending money to themselves, creating more and more liabilities.
They were loaning.
Loaning, yeah. Loaning to themselves, to other internally. Yeah. Creating a gap. 9 billion in liabilities, man. During this process, after this was revealed, Binance CEO CZ or Changpeng Zhao, I think his name is Changpeng Zhao, right?
Okay.
Changpeng, yeah. Changpeng Zhao announced that they were going to liquidate their, in the open, they were going to liquidate all the FTT tokens they had, which is around 2.1 billion, which I mentioned before. He mentioned in a tweet that they are doing this due to the recent revelations that have came to light. We have decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. We will try to do so in a way that minimizes the market impact due to the market conditions and limited liquidity. We expect this will take a few months to complete. I guess it won't anymore. Binance always encourages collaboration between industry players regarding any speculations as to whether this is a move against a competitor. It is not. Our industry is in its necessity, and every time a project publicly fails, it hurts every user and every platform. We typically hold tokens for the long term, and we have held on to this token for this long. We are transparent with our communication. That's a shot.
Yeah.
That's a direct shot towards FTX.
So you can accentuate it differently. We are transparent.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I should have put it that way.
I'm just adding to what you said.
Yeah, maybe it would have sounded better. We stay transparent with our actions. Oh my.
Man, if you had done it like that, I wouldn't have had something to say, man.
Well, who cares? You already said it. So that's not the only tweet he released. After that, so he released this one at 4:47 p.m. About 6 hours later, he said he makes a lot of tweets. Liquidating our FTT is just post-exit risk management, learning from Luna, because Luna was also a big scandal.
Yeah.
Well, that collapsed real quick.
That crashed. Yeah. That crashed immediately.
that was a crash course.
Yeah.
They were a crash dummy. We gave support before, but we won't pretend to make love after divorce. Whew. That's
Strong
a bar.
statement.
That's a bar.
That's a
As they
strong
say.
statement.
Hey, we need to buy. We need to get Don DeMarco. You know that?
Yeah.
It's when they drop a bar in battle rap. But we won't pretend to make love after divorce. We are not against anyone, but we won't support people who lobby against other industry players behind their backs. Onwards. That's
Onwards.
a whole shot. That's the whole shot to what FTX.
Yeah.
Guys,
yeah.
I haven't added these articles to it, but FTX was lobbying a lot for creation of certificates so certain companies could trade within the American financial system. In doing so, they were also securing their place in that structure. Bankman, or Sam of SBF, how you want to call it, had a lot of relations, either via his mom or dad, because his mom was also part of the Democratic Party. He had the political door slightly open via his parents, so he knew who he had to contact, and also how to lobby and how to get a advantage. And with this certificate they were planning to create, it would have left Binance on the open. They would have been kind of the only one who probably would have gotten it.
Yeah. So it was a power play.
Basically, Changpeng was basically, even though he's not saying it's a move against them, they were growing beyond Binance's size. So best believe if it wasn't on purpose, it was by accident.
But it was.
But it was. Binance was after all these talks, tweets, Bankman still went to Binance asking them for a credit line, basically asking them to buy FTX, which would be an amazing move actually for Changpeng, because if you buy the competitor up, ain't a better way to make your moves.
Yeah, you gain more market share and you eliminate a competitor.
Yeah.
2 birds with 1 stone.
2 birds in 1 stone. However, when they saw that hole, that liability hole, they were like, no, thank you.
No, we're good.
We're good over here. Crypto giant Binance abandons proposed bailout, failing rival FTX after finding financial black hole in the books. No, we're good, boy. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Can't help you. Can't save you out of this one.
But best of luck to you guys.
Hope you find a sucker. One is born every day anyway.
Yeah.
They didn't find that person, by the way. They also tweeted an official statement. As a result of corporate due diligence, Ooh, they put a corporate in there. Just so you know, we have it locked down over here.
Yeah, we have it locked down over here.
We
They
have it.
don't.
They don't.
They're still
Yes.
they're still working with emojis over there.
As well as the latest news reports regarding mishandled customer funds and alleged US agency investigations, we have decided that we will not pursue the potential acquisition of FTX.com. In the beginning, our hope was to be able to support FTX customers to provide liquidity, but the issues are beyond our control and ability to help. Every time a major player in this industry fails, retail consumers will suffer. We have seen over the last several years that the crypto ecosystem is becoming more and more resilient, and when we believe in time that outliers that misuse users funds will be weeded out by the free market. Do you believe this statement? The last sentence? That the natural order will sort itself in the free market.
Well, I do believe in the free market, but I also think that you need to have some sort of regulation. The problem is that if you leave it up to free market, only to free, so I think it should be as free as possible. But if it's completely free, then sure, the free market might weed out all the companies that are not legitimate or that are not running properly. But the question is, at what cost? How much damage need to be caused? How much damages need to be caused before the market has weeded out the outliers that misuse user funds? I think that's a legitimate question, especially looking at this particular case where we're talking about billions of dollars.
It is.
What do you think?
I agree with you. I agree with you. There has to be some kind of regulations, but at the same time, I also believe that it will weed itself out. And you got to ask yourself, like you said, at what cost? But sometimes it will. I do think that it will weed itself out, but regulations may help as well. Simultaneously, I do know, since I was I'm not gonna say an early adapter because well technically I'm not gonna say anything else, but um, um, the core of crypto, the idea of crypto, and what got a lot of people excited when it was launched, when it became more and more popular, is the idea of it being decentralized and not totally controlled by the systems that are already existing.
Yeah.
The concept of corrupt systems that are failing already. What it wanted to be is the central bank of everything without anyone Because if you build systems, they will be corrupt because humans build them. They build loopholes, etc. If it's centralized or decentralized in this sense, but you can see everything happening. You can transact based on trust. I transfer the money to you, you transfer the funds or whatever, you transfer what I want to, and we don't need a bank in between us. That's the concept of how it all started out. So by adding regulation, you're basically going against the initial idea of crypto. So it's one thing you got to keep in mind. But having a regulatory framework would be good for every company in this business. Either you do it internally or however you want to do it. Because technically you don't need these companies unless you want to trade. It's another thing, what I've learned. Well, oh man, I look like ARAP out here, man. Those who know who ARAP is, you know. One thing about all these companies that have, you don't need to keep your money on their wallet, because you will see later on that having the money on the wallet a lot of times will not end well, because the trading, it's not really a separate wallet, it's their main wallet. So they put everything on a big wallet probably, or they move a lot of number of wallets, and then you deposit your crypto on it, and then they are managing your crypto.
Yeah.
So basically it's their crypto at that point, which is also against the whole idea of crypto. So
Yeah.
you gotta ask yourself, was crypto actually created to be traded the way it's being done right now? But that's another topic which we're not gonna talk about today. Champagne keeps tweeting. He has the Meek Mill Twitter fingers. A couple of days after, I think this is the 13th. No, this is the 7th. This is the 7th. No. Let me go back. The 12th. He tweeted the following: "We have a policy not to comment on competitors. We call industry peers publicly. I broke this rule only a few times in the past. 7th of July, I tweeted this. So 3AC owes Voyager a few $100 million, went bust. FTX Alameda gives 3AC $100 million, but didn't save it. Alameda invests in Voyager, then takes a $377 million loan from Voyager. Okay. V went bust. FTX didn't bail them out or return the money. Hard to follow. It was back then." He also tweeted, so 3AC owes Voyager. Oh no, it's the same one. This is just a link to that. Response was, I think he removed this. Let me see if he did. "Always happy for people to take an interest in helping the industry. Less so if it's just pretending, but kind of wish some of them would bother asking their legal team how bankruptcy works first. Or, reach out to ask for clarifications. I'm always happy to inform." CZ continues. He obviously know a lot about bankruptcy, even in July. "Going forward, I will break this policy a bit and be more vocal about issues I see in the industry. May cause more debates or more fight memes, but that's not my intention. It's to reduce risk, even if they are false alarms. Looking back, they ate that one up.
Yeah.
This is crazy. If you think about this money, the way this money moved, I don't know how. Yeah, that would have looked. This would look crazy on the balance sheet.
Definitely.
And you gotta ask yourself. I think due to the not having any, you cannot. You can. I mean, maybe that's also the reason why they didn't record anything. Because I would want to know the idea behind this. But anyway, so let's continue. Basically, as Business Insiders mentions here, Champagne made a ruthless move by
Look.
first pointing out that he's gonna sell off 2.1 billion of FTT coins after the announcement of the leak of the balance sheet. Then he didn't save it, rightfully so, because I mean, who's gonna take? I mean, I love you, but I don't love you that much.
No.
Who's gonna take 9 billion in liabilities and basically removed one of the biggest competitors of, as he calls it, industry peers.
That's a nice word. Nice way to call it.
That's a nice way to call it. Basically said, we don't need you anymore, and threw him to the wolves. Or, you know, the scene in Sparta when they kicked the guy in the messenger,
Yeah.
kicked him down that hole.
And that whole legendary scene.
Legendary scene. That's what Champagne did, man. Ended the reign of FTX, the short reign of FTX.